name's Dale and this is Dale's Addiction. Today I wanted to talk about something a little off topic, but maybe you can relate. Maybe you think I'm living in La La Land, but I've lost my hustle. I was talking to a friend the other day and we were catching up on, what's been happening in life, what's been happening with work and general things like that. And as I was listing off what I'd been doing, what I was hoping to do, I kind of realized that, as he put it, you've lost your hustle. And he could totally relate. And what I'm talking about, I just started to make a list of all of the weird kind of decisions that I've been making that I feel make me a little bit of an alien in my current environment. And I don't know if this is something that other people feel, but certainly I wanted to make a video about it and share it. I guess for someone who, at my age, 42, the ripe old age of 42, I work with a lot of professional people who are, general managers, executive general managers, CEOs, the C-suite basically. And I feel like, and I know I'm not alone in this one, but I feel like this is the age where most people are getting to a point where they're starting to get into those really quite senior, powerful positions within organisations. Now, people that I coach in my work are kind of feeling a little uncomfortable with the fact that, first of all, they've been offered executive development, but secondly, that they don't have aspiration to rise to the top. And I could absolutely relate to them, because for me personally, climbing that ladder is something that I forgot about a long time ago. Probably when I started consulting about 8 years ago is when I made the actual cut of the apron strings. Sometimes I feel like I should go back to the corporate world, and sometimes I, for the right company and the right role, perhaps that might be the case. But what I'm getting at is that no longer motivates me. It's no longer my view of success. It's not something that I'm working towards. It's not about status anymore for me in that way. And when I talk to these people, they're like, I feel like, I should be climbing the ladder. I should be excited that I'm the next CEO, CFO. But I'm not. I'm just happy where I'm at. And for me, I see a lot of people talking about the hustle here on YouTube in various forums, and I'm just not interested in it. I have, taken the risk that I've left a permanent Monday to Friday 9 to 5 role, and I've got to make my own decisions about how much money that I bring in a year and how I get work and what have you. And yes, I have a husband, and a lot of people might say, well, it's all right for you to not have career ambitions because you've got a husband that, has a good salary. Yeah, I do, but we're a team and we have goals. So both of us, we still need to pull our weight, but how I do that is no longer inspired or motivated by traditionally what success is. The other thing that I realized as I was giving my little update was that my dream car that I had dreamed about since I was 8 years old, I was telling my grandmother, when I grow up, I want to be a divorce lawyer and I want to drive a black BMW convertible, and I will not be having any kids because they will put their fingerprints all over my car. Well, I didn't become a divorce lawyer, but I did get my black BMW convertible. And I have had that car for almost 4 years, and I've become less and less excited by it. I feel like it was one of the greatest privileges in my life to be able to buy that car and to enjoy that car for the time that I had it. But I don't have sentimental attachment to things. And so I know some people, they wait until they get to their midlife and they buy their dream car and it becomes their baby, their pride and joy, and they keep it forever and a day and it becomes a family heirloom. For me, I don't have that attachment. I'm actually, I shouldn't say I'm going back to a standard car, because I'm not. I'm still going to have a very nice car, but it's not that car. And that car had a lot of symbolism to me in terms of where I was in my life. I could have bought that car a long time before I did, but I wouldn't allow myself to. I didn't want to be ticking off that list and then the list is done. Because, you know, I guess when you're goalless, you feel like you're a little ambivalent about life. I don't want to grow my business. My goal with my business was to create my dream job, and I have. I work with amazing people on amazing work. I get paid well. I have high levels of flexibility in my work. It's not to say that I couldn't find a corporate role like that now, because I think post the pandemic, those sorts of roles certainly exist. But a lot of people say to me, oh, you know, when will you get to a point when you hire staff, and when will you get premises? And I'm like, I don't want any of that. For those of you who don't know, I had a previous background in human resources, people and culture. I don't want staff. I don't want staff that I have to pay. It's a challenge enough to manage engagement and retention and performance of staff when it's not your own money. When it's your own money, the level of stress that you have around bringing business in, the level of stress you have about how to manage performance, because everything becomes so much more personal. I knew from the very beginning that's something that I never wanted to do. If I have too much work on, I talk to my clients about dates in the future that I'm available, and if that doesn't work for them, I refer them on to people that I trust. I refer them on. I do not subcontract. You might say, well, that's stupid. That doesn't make commercial sense. I don't want to manage it just so I can put extra dollars in the bank, because that's not my goal. It's not my goal. So I feel like that's a weird position to be in for someone who's in business. My husband and I have talked a lot about getting a bigger house, a house with a bigger garage, and, you know, so that he can have all of his things, because they don't sit nicely on a shelf like this. And we've gone round and round and round, and we have friends who have very big homes, and we have a lot of friends who have very big homes and a hell of a lot of a mortgage as well. And we've just gotten to the point where we love our humble home. And when I say humble, that's relative to where we live and what stage of life we're at and our income bracket and those sorts of things. But I'm not motivated to go and build this grandiose mansion for two people. I'm not motivated to go and buy the house that I think everyone thinks that we should have because of our stage of life. The house is not the resume of success, in my opinion, and it's the home that's the resume of success. And I feel like we've got a lovely home, and as much as I would like some things to change, I love the character of this old, it's nearly 100 years old, our home, parts of it. And so I feel like it's a part of our family as well. And we've just like, it's not important to us to go and buy a big, grandiose home anymore. Birthday parties, any kind of celebratory party, I don't want to do it. My husband and I are celebrating 10 years of marriage this year, and we threw around the idea, because we eloped originally, that, you know, maybe we should have a party and finally celebrate our wedding with our friends and family. And then we went, no, we don't want to do it. We're not that kind of people. I think what is special about how we got married is that it was just for us. And that sounds kind of counter, I think, to you know, again, the decisions a lot of people make in their life. And yeah, I just find that when I'm explaining to people what we're doing for our 10th wedding anniversary, or why we wouldn't be doing something else, I get met with a lot of, oh, okay, that's interesting kind of responses. So yeah, I feel like that's a bit different. I don't know what I'm trying to say with this video. I just feel like all the things, the cultural norms and symbols of success and what is important to you at this part of my life just don't seem to be applying to me. They don't seem to motivate or interest me whatsoever. And I think I can add to that the fact that I don't have my own children, my own biological children, and so I tend to find myself on the outskirts of most people's normal day-to-day life. And that's with the availability of time that I have, with the, I guess you might say, I'm not going to say lack of stress, but lack of tension around having to be in a bunch of different places. I only have to manage myself, my husband, and the people that we love and care about. How do we get around to all of those spots? But we don't have the complexity of a young family. And so I guess it kind of highlights differences. And then when you start looking at what else is different, you just can't stop seeing things. And I just wanted to put it out there that if you're in your early 40s, or even if you're not, if you're at a different point in your life and you're feeling just a bit different, if you feel like you're on the periphery, on the outskirts, that you're a bit of an alien, you've got a friend in me. I feel like I'm rebelling against a lot of things. Not actively, not critiquing anybody who does still find those things important, but they're just not for me. And I think that's hard for people to understand. Well, I know it is, because talking to people, I find their responses tell me that it's hard for them to understand. So anyway, I've prattled on long enough. I've lost my hustle. How's your hustle going? What are the things that tell you that you've lost your hustle? And do you think it's a good thing, or do you think it's not a good thing? I'd love to know in the comments down below. Thanks for sticking with me for this rather interesting monologue of thoughts. And if you didn't think it was interesting, my apologies. Anyway, usually I talk about handbags and things. I haven't lost interest in those. Definitely not. So come back on Wednesdays and Sundays, where I'll talk about handbags and other cool stuff. Until then, ciao.